Tell us about your immediate family prior to your pregnancy.
Oh, my immediate family was my husband at the time, and really just that was really it. Like I had my mom and my sister and nieces and nephews, but it was me and my husband that was like only in the house.
How did you find out you were pregnant?
I just like really had like I just had a feeling like because even then I had irregular periods, so it was like a. But this time it just felt different, so I ended up taking the test because my feeling was off, and that's how we found out.
How did you share the news with your husband and your family?
I really with him, I had just like I woke him up and I was like, "Look, we're having a baby," and then he was like, "What?" Like mid sleep, I just woke him up. With our families, we made like this little cute box, and it was like you're going to be grandparents, and then it was like June 2017. So we made like these little like cute little boxes and gave it to them, and that's how we let them know.
What were the events leading up to your pregnancy loss? How did you know to go in?
I would say it was maybe like 1 o'clock, like the day before, like in the weeks before. I had no problems. Like I had a doctor's appointment. The baby was everything was fine. So up until the night of, I had like no signs. Then it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I like I had just like I had like bleeding. So I had called my coworker because she had twins, and I know she would bleed a lot through her pregnancy. So with that, she was like, and then I had called like the overnight nurse. They was like, well, if you fill up a pad like within the next hour, go to the emergency room. So I ended up bleeding a lot more, and ended up going into the emergency room. That's when they told me that so we didn't have a heartbeat anymore.
Was your husband with you?
Yes. Yeah, he was the one who drove me.
What happened next?
Next, I guess it was just shock, and I just burst into tears because there he wasn't allowed to be in the back. It was only women. But once they told me everything, then they called him back, and like I guess he already like kind of knew like about me crying and stuff. So I told him, and we both started crying, and then we called our parents and our best friends.
Can you tell me about Zoe's delivery?
Yes. So like after like there was no hurry, they said I was gonna have to. They induced my labor, so I ended up like just bleeding and fasting, but like I wasn't like all the way going into labor, so they told me that I was gonna have to have a DNC, and so they started to like induce my labor. They gave me more medication to help like that go along, and I ended up having the DNC.
Do you remember anything about that time?
Really, just a lot of yeah. I remember like the room was filled with my mom couldn't make it, but it was my sister, my two best friends, his parents, and his sister. So they all came to the hospital. So and I remember like having like they were like all sitting around the room and stuff, and I was having the contractions. So I was like still like passing her like on the bed and stuff, but it was like a very sad time. I was still in and out of emotion and still out trying to process that. But all in all, I still felt like surrounded by love and support while they were there.
What happened when you went home?
I cried for days, like months. So yeah, and then I have clinical depression, so like that like triggered that, and then I fell into a deep depression.
When did you know you needed help?
When I couldn't stop crying, like because usually my medication would help, and like even talking with friends would help, but it was just something else that I needed. I needed more help, like somebody that could actually like relate to me at that time.
What did you do?
I just started to look up different support groups of women that this had happened to or similar things had happened to, and I had found Bo's Place.
Can you tell me about Bo's Place?
Yes, so that's like a pregnancy loss support group of like women that have lost children ranging from different ages, like different different ranges, and they just help support women and like so yeah.
Do you have any comfort items? that you've had from that time?
Yes, I have like a memory box. I have like her, and inside that I have like the little onesie that we had made for her, and like my my first ultrasound and the ultrasound we had up until I think it's like 200 ultrasounds, like the first one, and then it was the one where I think she was like 12 or 16 weeks, and then just like her ornament and different things that I bring out during her. We have like a little pink Christmas tree, so just things that like remind me of her.
Did you, at the time, had you already started preparing for her, like a room or a shower or?
Not a room, but we had a gender reveal, and during the gender reveal, our friends and family had brought like diapers and different things like that. And his mom was so super excited because this is going to be her first grandchild, so she had already started buying like the crib and all the different things for the room.
After going through all this, what would you tell somebody who had a similar experience to you? What advice would you give them?
Just really let them know that they are not alone. Nothing is wrong with them. Like, you're not damaged or anything like that. This happens to more common than you would actually think. So just don't be afraid to reach out and talk, because there are women out there that can relate to your situation.